What's up guys, Time Limit here, and today I'm going to do my first ever track walkthrough. I'm excited, I hope you guys are too. We're going to discuss my latest track release, which is called Loud. It's out now on all streaming services, so if you want to go and check it out, you can click the link in bio on my socials, you can check the video description, you can go to Spotify and just type in Time Limit Loud, you will find it. But let's stop chatting, let's get right into this project. It looks like this. Doesn't look like it's a lot of tracks actually. Let's talk about the mixer a little bit because I don't want to get too deep into mixing or processing chains or whatever, because honestly what I did 2 years ago when I made this track was kinda insane. Look at this, for example, we get 3 EQs on this track. It's going here, we got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 EQs here, which makes 9 EQs in a row. Yeah, I can really recommend you to do something like this. EQ right in the first moment and you will not have to do something like this. Let's just go for a basic explanation of my routing. As you can see, everything is color coded. The green channels are the drums, red is for the bass, yellow are always vocals, purple are my instruments, and this light blue color here are effect sounds. They all are routed to their separate buses over here, where a little bit of bus processing is going on to glue these sound groups together, and afterwards they get routed to this pre-master over here, but right now nothing is happening. All the master effects are turned off basically, just a little bit of saturation and a low cut on the sides. So nothing too crazy going on in this project. We got a couple of parallel tracks over here, which are just adding some kind of flavors to the sounds. For example, we got this parallel processing on a couple of drum sounds, which get routed over there. We got stuff like reverbs here. That's basically it about these channels. Alright, now let's get into the playlist and first look at the drums. So the creative idea for this project actually was to kinda have the UK bassline drum sound, so the typical patterns, the typical drum selection, you know, and just kinda speed that up and take it to the next level and just make a D&B song with that. So if we put the tempo of the track down to about 130 and we just go here in the pattern and we add kicks on the 2 and 4 as well, so we are doing 4 on the floor now, it will sound like this. So we got a really typical house groove going on right now. And if we just put the tempo back up to 175 and we remove those extra kicks again that I just added, then we have this. So you can still hear like it's the typical house sounds. It's a pretty straightforward pattern. We don't have this kind of interruption with the half kick, which is usually going on in D&B, and it's just giving a lot of energy. We got some more layers in the drums going on later on. Here's some shakers coming in and stuff like that, which just spices it up, but nothing too crazy actually going on here with the drums so far. Now let's take a look at the bass next. As you can see, we got one audio file which is covering the sub bass. First of all, it gives me a lot of control because I can see if the sub seems to be right, and also it saves me a lot of CPU load. If I have a bass patch like this one over here, I will just duplicate it, and in that case it's this one over here. And as you can see, we still got the same envelopes and LFO shapes going on here. All I did was just replacing the oscillator A with a analog BD sign, putting the wavetable position up just a little bit so it sounds a little saturated already, and then we got the same envelopes going on and the sub is just following that exact main bass shape, but it's just a really clean sine sub. We can route that to an extra track in the mixer and we got full control over the sub bass. In some tracks it can be better to just get a static sub going on and just not have it follow the envelope of the main bass, but that's different from track to track, so you just have to try this out for yourself. As we can see here in the span analyzer, the sub's really taking care of the very low frequencies, the ones that we really rather feel than we actually hear them. And it's really important to get this section right, because basically this is the most important section in bass music. Like, if you can feel the bass right, you won't love that track, definitely. What else is going on in the bass section here? We got this re-bass, which is the main bass in the break. Yeah, it got some really nice movement going on. That's happening right in the synthesizer over here. We got an LFO happening and it's automating the drive of the distortion over here. Without that automation, it would just sound super static and boring. But if you got parameters like that automated, it will always add some really nice character to your sounds. Next up, we got drop synths. Here we basically got the top bass going on. As you can see, there's also a lot of automation happening here. But this is really just the typical build-up stuff. As you can hear, it's really far away right now. It sounds like from another room or whatever. We got filters going on, the loudness is taken down. Now it's slowly coming closer to the listener. We hear like the sound is approaching us. And then here it's hitting. Obviously without the sub bass right now, so it sounds a little empty. Together they are the full bass of the project. And let's dive into the right pattern over here, if I can find it. We got a couple of layers going on here. Let's look at this. So the first stuff is basically this bass stab, just doing a one note thing, having a nice envelope, and that's basically it. We got this step paired with it. This is just an audio clip, and those two together make this bass step at the beginning of the drop. And the really important stuff is the Luigi bass on top here. Luigi mono could be the main sound actually. Yeah, this is the one. So this is the main sound of the drop. Looks like this. If you wanna copy the settings, just go for it. It's a preset I found somewhere, so it's not mine. This is the processing. I probably tweaked the preset a bit. It's from a Hoda and Edo Queen pack. If you can find that somewhere, the Luigi stab is in there. Oh, there's also a Mario noise. That's cool. Yeah, we got this layer. That's more stereo, if you can hear that on headphones. It's just a unison here. We got 4 and 2. And with the mono bass, I just put both to 1. I guess that's the only difference here. And then I layered them on top of each other, which gives a really full sound. And now we got the Mario thing. I guess I did the same thing here with the mono and stereo trick. Here the voices are at 1, here we got 8 and 2, so yeah, I did the same thing here. Mono compatibility, holy shit, is super important in dance music still. Not just in dance music, I guess everywhere, but club systems are often mono, so it's really important there. And like laptop speakers, mobile speakers, everything's mono, so keep that in mind. Yeah, that's just doing this little fill here in the middle of the drop. And we got this, which is called main bass. Okay, that's just like a gritty little low mid layer. Yeah, that's just kind of filling out the sound from down there. Not too obvious. And I think this is also kind of reasonable, like 3 layers at a time. They all got a clear purpose, you know, like we got the mono main layer, we got a stereo layer, makes it white, and we got a sound with pretty different characteristic, which is like kind of filling the low mids. And that's it, nothing too crazy. As you can see here, I started a couple of ideas until I finally came up with the bass riff, which I used in the end. So let's check out the first idea I had for the bass. Yeah, that doesn't really hook me so much. Vibes, how does that sound? Yeah, that's just weird. What about this one? Ah, okay, that's... no, that's... Yeah, that's just a worse version of the final idea I then had. Yeah, I think it's really important. If you have an idea, like, don't just always go with the first idea you had, just because it was the first one. It doesn't have to be too good. As you can see, there's like millions of patterns. I've tried out a lot of different things here. That's not it. That one is kinda nice. Honestly, like if you hear something here that you kind of like, I'm still open to release a VIP version of Loud, maybe. What kind of rhythm is that? That's just weird. Nah. Second VIP, okay. Now, let's continue with the vocals then. So the vocal is basically just something I found on Splice.
Blunt rolls in a black pouch, roaming back streets around south. All my boys, we hit that loud.
Nothing too crazy going on in the mixer, I guess. I just kind of made it brighter.
Blunt rolls in a black pouch.
Like, yeah, that sounds a little dry and dull. And the hood processing is basically just making this really, really bright. We got another layer going on here, which is just the same vocal but pitched down to have semitones, and it gives this really dark, kind of demonic vibe and just adds a lot of character and energy to the vocal.
Blunt rolls in a black pouch, roaming back streets around south. All my boys, we hit that loud.
Yeah, it sounds really, really dark. And combined you can barely hear that, but it's definitely adding to the vocal.
All my boys, we hit that loud. Feel the vibe when they blast out. Now let me show you Zachary.
Alright, now we got some doubles going on here in the drop section to really emphasize these small phrases. Okay, there's some weird delay or chorus stuff going on in those. Yeah, this is the typical hard left, hard right panned version. Oh, I think that was inverted in the camera, sorry for that. Yeah, so what you definitely have to do if you want to create this really wide vocal sound, it's important to obviously duplicate it, put one hard left, the other one hard right, and then also adjust the pitch of the phrases. One slightly up, the other one slightly down, as you can see here. Another really important thing is to offset one of the phrases a slight bit. Now, if you have headphones on right now, you will definitely be able to hear the difference here. Let's just put it back where it was. Now let's offset it a little bit. Yeah, for sure. Like this sounds a lot wider. I should have done that back then. Guess I didn't know it or I forgot about it. But if you're going for this really wide vocal sound, like maybe for your main vocals, you should definitely pay attention to this little trick. Here we got some vocal ambience going on. Yeah, I think this was one of the first sounds I had in this song, just really adding to that vibe of the track, not really a part of the main vocals obviously. So let's continue with the instruments or break synths. Most important thing, definitely the choir. Without processing, the choir sounds pretty standard. Listen to this. So what I did here was that I added this balance here, and the volume knob is basically routed to this P controller doing some movement that gives this fluttering sound characteristic to it. Movement is always super important in electronic music. Rhythm is probably the most important thing because you always want to get people moving somehow. A lot of automation going on here again, as you can see, but nothing too crazy like filters and stuff like that. We got brass, another thing adding to that epic vibe for sure. Also nothing too crazy, I think this is just a sample playing. Yeah, exactly. Then we got the organ. Oh, actually still playing with MIDI. That's interesting. I didn't bounce it out. I probably should have. Yeah, really cool organ sound. Let's see, it's Contact, Hybrid Keys, Character Organ, if you want to check that out. Nothing too crazy going on here with the MIDI actually. It's playing power chords in the beginning. Yeah, never playing more than 2 notes at the same time, but still it sounds really, really epic. Kind of thin, but that's why the choir is taking up the main space in the instrumental, and this organ is just adding something more interesting to it. Yeah, that's basically it. Like, The whole instrumental is 3 instruments. Less is more a lot of times. If you can create a vibe with only 3 instruments, probably you could just take 2 or even just 1. If it's really, really good. Now, last but not least, let's go with the effect sounds. I tend to use a lot of effects, as you can see here. They are just there for creating smooth transitions, adding more ambience to the track, or just adding some more energy to certain sections. Let's see what we got going on here. This is another choir thing going on. Not sure if you can hear this good right now. Yeah, just another like choir ambience adding to that epic vibe. Same goes for this high string over here. Just adding tension, adding a nice ambience. Yeah, the typical transition stuff here. This is, I think, one of my favorite sounds. Yeah, this little zip thing. I even recognize this if I just see it, because I've used this so many times already. I don't know, it always fits somewhere. I just like this little sound. What do we have here? Oh yeah, that's vocal stuff, and this is something pretty important that you can definitely keep in mind when making tracks. Especially if you're making electronic music, it's really important to keep something human in your music, because humans just love to listen to other humans. That's how we are built. And if you just have electronic stuff going on all the time, it's probably hard for people to keep following your song. So if you add little human stuff, even if people don't really recognize it, it will keep their intention on the song. This is another vocal thing going on here. This is some small sweep, I guess. We got another vocal here, I believe. What do we have here? I guess it's... Yep, another vocal. Another vocal. It's going on in the background. It's not like super obvious and in the front of the song, but it really, really adds to the overall sound. Now we got really standard riser stuff going on here in front of the drop. Nothing too crazy, just a couple layers of risers. Ambience going on here. That's nice. Some rain ambience and some... What does it say? Forest ambience. Yeah, I really love just putting like natural ambiences at the back of my song. Back then I used to just take like library sounds, but nowadays I actually got my own field recorder and I'm often like recording my own ambiences, putting them in my songs. I feel like this just adds some natural and also personal touch to your productions. It's really not that hard, and it's actually a lot of fun to record your own sounds, especially if you like grab a couple of friends and just, I don't know, like try to create crazy sounds with whatever comes to your mind, really. You got the typical crowd noise going on here. Really, really subtle. Yeah, some more standard transition effects, I guess. Oh yeah, really, really common effect sound here. You've probably heard that a lot of times. Yeah, some like vinyl spinning effect sounds. Yep, I guess it wasn't enough yet. So another woo shout. And just some downlifter here at the end. And that's it. We made it through the Who project. Now that you've watched until here, let me show you one real quick but really helpful trick sometimes. Right here on the master I got this fruity reverb. So basically what it's doing, it's adding a bunch of reverb to my master. Sounds absolutely awful, but it gives you a really interesting impression, because it kind of sounds as if your song was played on the main stage or like in a huge club, and it's just really interesting sometimes to listen to this in the process of making a song. That's how it sounds like. Yeah, you can totally hear my CPU dying here, but yeah, I guess you get the point of it. If something was totally weird or you didn't understand the way I explained it or whatever, please let me know. And last but not least, follow my socials if you want to keep up with the latest stuff I'm doing. Head to your favorite streaming service and check out Loud. Give me a full stream, that would really help a lot. Share the song with your friends, add it to your playlist, whatever you want. All this will tell the algorithm that my music is kinda cool and that people want to listen to it more. That would really help me out a lot. So thanks for the support, guys. And also, if you found this video helpful, like it, leave me a comment, write me a DM, whatever. See you soon. Bye.